Hey, what's going on YouTube? It is Sean back again with another One Piece review. Today we are talking about chapter 1045. It was a good chapter, but I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one. I think honestly the thing that's making me a little bit apprehensive is the idea that this is how Luffy's fights are going to be going forward, right? Obviously, when he gets to Blackbeard, when he gets to Im, if he ever does fight Im, those fights are going to be a lot more intense. Possibly, but I think at the end of the day, this whole like kind of goofy atmosphere, the whole vibe is like, it's going to take some getting used to, right? And that's kind of the general consensus that I've been seeing across the community, is that people aren't necessarily mad about it, but it is something that's going to take some getting used to. Altogether, I am happy that it's not just like so overwhelming, that like his awakening is so super powerful that he just like one shots Kaido or just like handles him super quick. Honestly, I think this whole thing has like really put into perspective just how powerful Kaido is, because this man has been fighting almost everybody for hours since the raid started. Kaido has been fighting. Like, Luffy's been knocked out 2 or 3 times now. Yamato, he fought the Scabbards, he fought the Supernova, right? He fought near constantly for this entire but this entire section of the arc. The entire raid, Kaido has been fighting. From the moment that the Scabbards attacked him, he has been fighting. I think he's only ever had maybe 2 breaks. The time when he first, took care of the Scabbards, and then Luffy and the other Supernova got up to the roof. And then the moment when he first knocks Luffy off the roof, and they have that, moment where Kaido is just kind of sitting up there and he's like, oh, I guess you couldn't be Jobo either. Those are the only few times where Kaido has had a break. Other than that, he's been fighting, like I said, pretty much constantly. And he's still giving Luffy, even in his awakened form, he's still giving him the fight of his life. So it only goes to show that, man, like, when they say one-on-one Kaido will win, that's no joke, right? And the thing is, what we've heard so far about Devil Fruits is that the biggest ability, or the greatest, I guess, asset that Zone Devil Fruits have is their durability. Their ability to kind of just keep going, keep fighting, take a bunch of abuse, and just keep, just outlast it. Right, and keep coming, and their recovery time is super quick. And this is something that I think in this battle more than anything has been really put on full display. Kaido has arguably the strongest Zone Devil Fruit that we've seen, next to maybe Luffy's now. But the ability that he has to just tank hits, to just like take damage and just keep coming back, it's on full display right now. He's been fighting for so freaking long against so many different opponents, and he's still, it's hard to say that, the fight is still kind of in his favor. Even when Luffy kind of goes and does something incredible, Kaido has a counterattack, to knock him back. And now, we're seeing some of the fatigue. Kaido kind of drops his Kanabo and huffs and pants a little bit, and we see the fatigue setting in. But look how long it took, right? Whereas Luffy is like, he's dying. That's the thing. Obviously, this whole Gear 5th, the Devil Fruit Awakening, is going to have repercussions. We don't know what yet. Much like Gear 4th, the Gear 2nd, there's going to be some type of drawback to using this power. It's looking like it's actually killing him. Like, we already knew that Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd, Gear 4th even, Gear 2nd drawback was the effect that it had on his heart. For Gear 3rd, after he used it, he went into the little mini Luffy for a while. And then Gear 4th, you can't use Haki for 10 minutes if he used Gear 4th too long. For Gear 5th, it looks like it's the strongest, but it's also taking the most out of him. Every time he's come out of it, which is only, he's, when he first awakened it, and then now we see in this chapter, he has a brief moment where he comes out of Gear 5th, he looks really, really drained, and he looks like he's on the verge of death every single time. So you have to wonder what kind of long-term effects Gear 5th is going to have on him. And, you know, maybe is this something that he's going to be able to train to, you know, help neutralize? Maybe is a Rumble Ball going to help a little? Who knows, right? Luckily, he has another Devil Fruit user on his crew who happens to be a doctor and a zone type. So we'll see. But for right now, it's looking like using this power is really going to have a huge effect on Luffy going forward. And it kind of worries me because even though Bowler Hat guy is out of commission, if news gets out that Luffy awakened his Devil Fruit and he won, there's still other CP0 members on this island, right? As far as I know, they haven't completely left yet. So Luffy's going to be in really, really rough shape. He's going to need some protection. Hopefully somebody can get up to that rooftop by the time this is all said and done to look out for him and treat him. Or maybe he's going to end up back down on the live floor and Chopper's going to look after him. Who knows? But at some point, you know, he's going to be done. Like done. Like post Enies Lobby done, where he's just like sleep eating with bandages on him. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that. But as far as his powers, man, like we actually see in this chapter, Luffy actually goes into a giant form. Not Gear 3rd, where a part of his body is giant. His entire body is ginormous. He turns himself into a giant. He also runs on air. But the gigantification part is definitely more important and more relevant to the story, because we know how hard the world government has been trying to master gigantification. We know how hard Big Mom has been trying to get the giants on her side. There's been, for, you know, who knows how long, there's been a huge emphasis on how strong giants are, and how if you can get the giants on your side, you can virtually take over the world. And the fact that Luffy's Devil Fruit enables him to turn into a giant, we don't know for how long, but the fact that he did it is, I think, is just another testament to just how powerful this Devil Fruit is and how much potential it has. And also why the world government has been trying to get it for so long. Obviously, somebody like the Sun God Nika would stand against everything that they stand for with the whole freedom thing. But in addition to that, being able to turn yourself into a giant, possibly turn other things giant, that's right up the world government's alley. That's exactly what they want. So it makes so much sense that they've been looking for this Devil Fruit for so long. And also it makes a lot of sense as to why Who's Who was punished as much as he was for losing it, right? I mean, I think that became apparent when the fruit, you know, first awakened and we saw what it actually was, and the world government talks about what it actually is. But now seeing that he can turn himself into a giant, it just means even more, and it implies even further that this is really the Devil Fruit that they actually really need, along with Law's Fruit possibly, but obviously for different reasons. But yeah, man, it's tough because Luffy's so strong. But I like that Oda doesn't have him, like I said, completely overpowering Kaido. It's still a pretty even fight. Some might even say Kaido still has the upper hand because we don't know when Luffy's power is going to run out. But it's interesting. The tone is interesting. It still feels One Piece though. However, I will say that the stakes don't feel as high. It feels a lot less serious. The implications don't feel as drastic, but it still feels very much like One Piece. And, you know, for somebody like Oda, who's as goofy and wacky as he is, it makes perfect sense that his protagonist would be this way. He basically just took Luffy and made him even more Luffy, if that makes sense. So like I said, going forward, it's interesting. It's going to take some getting used to. We don't know how all of Luffy's fights are going to be from here on out. I actually watched one of Brago's videos, and he made a pretty interesting point that it seems like Luffy's in this weird state of euphoria, or just like, it's like he's on laughing gas, right? And you wonder if that's something that's going to have an effect on his fighting style, but also his ability to control Gear 5th, because we see him go out of it and go back into it. But at the same time, if it has this effect on his body that we think it does, he's gonna have to be a lot more responsible as far as the way that he uses it. and how often he uses it. And if he's in like this super hyped up, really happy and giddy state when he does it, it can be almost like I don't want to say an addiction, but it can be something that he maybe uses a little bit too irresponsibly. But again, that remains to be seen. So yeah, man, crazy chapter. Luffy used Kaido as a jump rope. I don't think anybody ever predicted anyone would ever be able to say that and it be true. But yeah, he used Kaido as a jump rope and then punched through his face. So, Toon World. That's where we are with it.